Hello, Ag in the Classroom. Today is my last video of the school year. The first time I did a video was out here in the same location. I was in front of one of our combines that was getting ready to harvest. When you guys started your school year, it was the end of the growing season for our corn and our soybeans, and farmers were just getting ready to harvest last year's crops. Well, today I'm inside one of our tractors as we're planting for this next growing season. So the piece of equipment that we have behind this tractor is a piece of tillage equipment. This is what we take out into our fields just a day or two before we're ready to plant. So that piece of equipment behind our tractor loosens up the soil and makes it easy for the planter to plant those seeds in the ground and for those seeds to get a good start. In the field across from me, we have our soybeans growing. They were planted a couple weeks ago. They got a pretty good start last week when we had some good heat. So I went out and I pulled a couple of the plants. So this is one of the smaller ones that has poked through. We can see the roots that were going down into the soil. And then we have our cotyledon. That is what to you and I looks like the seed. When we plant it, that seed, as it begins to gather moisture and nutrients, turns green, and that plant begins to grow. So when we look inside, we can see tiny leaves. I have another one here that is just a little bit further along in its growth. So we have our cotyledon here, and we have our first pair of leaves growing here. So our soybeans, with just the right amount of moisture, sunlight, and warmth, as well as the nutrients from the soil, will grow quickly, and in just a few weeks, what looks like bare soil will be bushy green plants about 3 to 4 feet tall that over the summer will flower and then produce pods with the soybeans or the seeds of the plant inside. So behind me, we can see where those soybeans are growing. It's pretty hard to see them from here, but in front here, we have some red clover growing. That red clover was planted actually a year ago. It's a perennial, so the plant comes back year after year. We will take our first cutting of that red clover about the 1st of June, and that will be made into hay to feed livestock. So we have a couple of horses, donkeys, and alpaca here on our farm that will enjoy that fresh hay when it's been cut in the summertime. This is a close-up of our alfalfa, so you can see it's a much bigger plant than our soybeans are right now. And what we want from that are those nice green leaves that will dry down then to make the hay to feed the livestock. The last thing I've got here is a small corn plant. So the corn, depending on when it was planted, is at different stages of growth. It also has its roots that go down into the soil and then grows a nice stalk with leaves. So again, with some good growing conditions here in the next few weeks, we'll go from this tiny plant to a corn stalk that is somewhere between 7 to 10 feet tall. So I don't know if we can get a quick glimpse of the field behind me, but if you look real close, you can see the tiny rows of corn plants that are growing. So thank you guys so much for inviting me into your classroom this year. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the videos that we did throughout the year. If you see me this summer, be sure to say hello, and you guys have a great summer.